Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're doing episode number 46 of I Build Your Teams, the series where I build my viewer squads into the best teams possible for my team showdown or whatever else you might be playing, just to help you build the best team you possibly can. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. We are trying to hit 40K by the end of May, which is here in 4 days. Need less than 200 subscribers to do it, but we need about 50 a day for the next 4 days to hit that. And I would really appreciate y'all's help if you do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it and let's get to work on this list. So we will start off with this first team here, which comes in from Jake, the movie man. He's got about 550,000 MT, and he wonders what suggestions I've got for him, basically. So he says backup point guard or backup center. I don't personally agree that those spots need to be upgraded. I think Klingon with mid 80 speed, 7'2" size, nice player build, good jumper is absolutely but runnable. I think he's super duper solid. And then Giddy as his backup point guard, honestly at the 6'8", solid shot creating point guard who's got some size, got some defense, jumper isn't atrocious. I kind of think you're set there at your point guard and your center positions. I think Giddy and Klingon are the type of unsellables I want to use. For me, it's, look, Dikembe would be a nice card to get. He would. I think that's a no-brainer. But unless you're selling Wemby, it's going to be hard to do that. And so I kind of think realistically, looking at your bigs, you kind of just leave them as is right now. Small forward is a position I'd like to upgrade. I think Kawhi and Paul George is totally fine. I like AK, but I don't love KD at this point. And I do know that he's unsellable, but I also know that out of the festival, for example, you can get a Galaxy Opal Tyrus Thomas really easily. He's very attainable without spending any money. And I would grind a couple pieces out from challenges or whatever to get him if you haven't already gotten him at this point, or don't already have enough pieces in your collection to get him. That's a card who I think is better than KD and is totally free and is an easy upgrade. And then after that, I would probably turn the rest of your pieces into, unless you have a specific goal for your pieces, I would turn the rest of them into MT. And the reason that I would do that is because I do think you can make really good, or really decent MT anyway from this festival, about 150,000 MT per diamond, or per goat piece anyway. And so if you take advantage of that for the next week or so with this festival, you should be able, wait a week and a half, and turn all your pieces into MT, then you can make good profit. And that'll give you the flexibility to here in a week or two pick up a really, really great dark matter or a couple of options or a Dikembe or maybe even 100 overall or something along those lines. But to me, the only player right now that I would get would be Tyrus Thomas. Second squad today comes in from Jax. He's got 700,000 MT after his auctions. And his problem is here, a lot of unsellable cards, and you have Shea, Larry, Dr. J, Gary Payton, D-Book, and Kawhi. I would run Shea, Larry, and Dr. J. I agree. I think I'd run it as Shea, Dr. J, Larry, but it's fine. I look at your bigs. They're all unsellable except for Shaq. You also have 700 KMT. 700 KMT is a decent amount, but here's the thing. Shaq's an over 2 million MT card. That is a very expensive, valuable, sellable option. And I actually think you should probably take advantage of it, sell them, to be totally honest, because if you can get over 2 million MT for them, all of a sudden you're looking at 2.7, 2.8 million MT potentially, even if it doesn't sell that insanely high, maybe you're at 2.6, but still you're going to be over 2.5 million MT 100%. And at that point, then maybe you can exchange one of these guards, whoever you don't like. So maybe it's Booker or Kawhi or something like that. I don't know who you prefer, but maybe you exchange Booker, for example, and you run Gary and Kawhi, or you exchange Peyton and you run Booker and Kawhi. I don't know. It's kind of up to you. But I think you can do that. I think you could add either a free small forward or a buyable small forward like an AK or a Beasley or a Luol, a free Tyrus Thomas, somebody along those lines, and just be fine with your shooting guards. But the big man spots is where you have the flexibility to upgrade. You can add a Mark Eaton, who's better by far at center than both Ewing and D-Rob are, I think, because of his size. You can add a Dikembe Mutombo. You can add an Artist Gilmore. You could realistically run your bigs could be Dikembe and Eaton, and then off the bench you could have Duncan and Artis, or you could still run one of the unsellables and you could go like Tim Dikembe starting, and you could go either Ewing or D-Rob, whoever you prefer, as your backup power forward, with Eaton as your backup center. Like, there's flexibility you'll have there, but you can get multiple guys to upgrade, like Dikembe, Eaton, maybe even another guy if you want, and still have nearly 2 million MT left over to work with after that. If you were to add Tyrus Thomas to this team and then add Dikembe and Eaton after selling Shaq, I kind of think that's the perfect recipe for this team right now in order to maximize this team, make it as good as possible. I got to speed up a little bit though, so this video isn't a 15-minute video. So 13 today comes in here from iSnipe. He's got 400,000 MT, only sellable is Dang. Needs help with his small forwards and bench. He has 2 GOAT pieces. Realistically, unless there is a specific player you're going for with those GOAT pieces, I don't know how far along you are on challenges, because you can grind for basically another GOAT piece from challenges. But you could potentially try to target a guy like a Jermaine O'Neal if you wanted to. I don't know if you want to. Unsellable Shaq is a really nice card to have. This is a really solid team. You have an unsellable to him. How do you have so many good unsellable cards? Well, I guess, I mean, unsellable MJ must have been from Hoffbox. Layerbird probably from Locker Card or Hoffbox. Either way, this is a very solid team. And so Kareem, even unsellable backup big. I don't think your bigs need any work at all, to be totally honest. I think as of right now, you are set at the big man spots. Your small forwards like Luol and Tyrus, I get wanting to move, but I almost sit here and I'm kind of like, Tyrus should stay for sure, being free. Luol, if you want to upgrade him to a Michael Beasley or something, I would say go for it in that case. But otherwise, I mean, you have enough shot creation with MJ and Larry. I kind of think Luol is totally fine to stay there with his size, his defense, and his solid offensive capabilities as well. I kind of think you're going to be just fine if you wanted to just do that. So just to me, at least, I think I would leave things as is for the most part here with this team. This is a team where with those GOAT pieces, unless there's a specific player you want to go for, which again, if you don't love your small forwards, maybe that's Jermaine O'Neal. Maybe you want to target him over the next couple weeks with the rest of this festival, because you're basically 2/5 of the way there right now. So you could either do that or you could turn those pieces into MT. Either way, I'd probably look to do one of those 2 things. This dude has got 1 million MT. Is it Nadranj? I may have mispronounced it. If I did, I do apologize. But he's got a fully unsellable team and a sellable original owner Invincible Wimby. Here's my thought process. Invincible Wimby might be the best card in the game. I fully get that. But the thing about Wimby is he is over 11 million MT as a base card. You could very easily get 12 or 13 million MT for that Wimby card. You already have a mill. In my opinion, it's kind of no-brainer, to be totally honest. As good as he is, the amount of MT you can get allows you to remake this entire team if you want to, because then you only have to keep, I mean, let's say you keep Castle, PG, Duncan, Larry, Tyrus, maybe Chet. Okay, let's put together a team. Say you sell Wemby and you now have 13 million MT to use to build your team. We'll just say that. Point guards can now be, I don't know, let's go get expensive point guard and you can keep Castle as your backup. Castle's unsellable, we'll keep him as the backup. We'll go get 100 overall Ben Simmons as your starter. Spend a couple mil, but it'll be worth it. Shooting guard position can easily just be Franz Wagner and Paul George. You're good there. So you got Ben, Castle, Franz, and Paul George. Small forward can be Tyrus or Larry Bird and Tyrus Thomas. You're good there. Power forward, Dikembe Mutombo and Tim Duncan. All you got to do is buy Dikembe. And then center position, and this is where the rest of the MT comes in really. 100 overall Yao Ming at starting center and Mark Eaton, or just leave Chet as your backup center. I would add 100 overall Yao and I would add 100 overall Ben. I think those 2 cards can be incredibly impactful, and you can add both of them. Sell Wemby, you can buy both of those guys as well as the other cards like a Dikembe and other guys to fill out this team, and spend, I don't know, maybe 8-9 million MT out of the 12 or 13 you get. But the thing is, you will still probably have 4 million MT plus if you sell Wemby, buy Ben Simmons, Yao Ming, Dikembe Mutombo, maybe even 1 or 2 more players like that. You know what I mean? And you can still have millions of MT left over. I think you have to sell Wemby realistically. We still have 2 more teams in this video. 3.5 mil MT, Chad. This is a good unsellable team, but with 3.5 mil, you have the ability to upgrade it some more. I would probably move Duncan to the bench, Dikembe to the 4, and add Eaton at the 5 just to add more size, in my opinion. Although if you like the way your bigs are, you could totally leave it. I'd replace Josh Smith probably with a scorer, and I would add a point guard with some size. I think you have 3.5 mil, so I don't think I'd spend 2.5 plus of it on Ben Simmons. That feels like a little bit too much right now. But you know who is a little more affordable now and is starting to get in that more reasonable price range is a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I feel like his 100 overall is a bit more attainable now. You could start Shai, you could bring Giddey off the bench, gives you some size off your bench, have like Giddey, Peja, and Beasley off the bench, and then starting you could have 100 Shai, Paul George, Tyrus, something like that with Dikembe and Eaton, and then Tim Duncan and with clinging off the bench in your big men. For me, that's kind of what I would be doing personally, is I'd be buying Beasley, I'd be buying Shai, and I'd be buying Eaton. I think definitely Beasley and Shai though, to me, feel like 2 really good purchases. And then the final team today comes in from my guy Hibachi, 250,000 MT with an unsellable team. He does have his guy Gilbert, and he's got him fully badged though, which is fire. I know he mostly plays Park, but in all honesty, to upgrade this team, I mean, obviously you don't probably want to spend any sort of money, right? Which I totally understand. Your point guards are fine. Your shooting guards are fine. Your small forwards are fine. You have Giddey in your last three as well, which gives you a point guard with some size. I know you want to upgrade your small forward position probably, but at 250,000 MT, I mean, unless you're wanting to buy a Luol Deng or an Andre Kirilenko, you're not really upgrading it. And I just don't know if those guys are big enough upgrades over this LeBron card to be worth doing that. I don't know. Kind of up to you. I don't think I would, though. I think Ben and Tim is fine, and I think Kling and Gobert is okay too. That being said, I do think Gobert would be nice to be replaced with like an Eaton or an Artist if you could. I don't think you have enough MT for Eaton. I think Artist is good, but is he worth spending the MT on? Again, when you have a Gobert who can play that same role or similar-ish role, I don't know. I almost look at a team like this and I think your best bet is just trying to save MT with all the other event pieces you get over the next week. Do the challenges, get the event pieces, get some pieces so you can add some players. Because if you can add a Dikembe Mutombo at your 4, that would be a big upgrade. You know what I mean? Or even at your 5. I think if you could add a Dikembe Mutombo or somebody like that, that could be really helpful. I would consider putting Giddey in the lineup though, at least sometimes though, for his size, because Caruso off the bench and Gilbert starting is going to be a small lineup. And Gilbert's obviously going to start, so I think having Giddey in there at times would be very useful. But that being said, I think I've yapped long enough. This is these are some pretty good teams today, and hopefully y'all did enjoy this episode. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.